Let us start the session. This session would be with small exercises as well as theoretical concepts, and the complete session will be aligned to PMI ACP syllabus. Whatever PMI ACP has prescribed the syllabus that to be taught as part of this program, it is aligned to that. Yeah. So now let us start this workshop on PMI ACP Agile Certified Practitioner. So as part of this training, we discuss about the examination prerequisites, exam eligibility, the examination pattern, and what are the other prerequisites that are required in order to clear the examination, and the content distribution, the tools and techniques, various domains and tasks for Agile certification. These are the various things which we're going to discuss. And at the end of the session, I'll give you the modus operandi you need to adopt and adapt in order to crack the examination, what materials you need to refer, right? How your learning path should be. So I'll give you all the references, how to plan your study so that you can crack the exam without any hazards. And the first one, the exam eligibility. Under two categories, you can take PMI ACP examination. Category 1, you being a bachelor's degree holder. And the other prerequisite one would need to suffice is 21 contact hours. That is the training what you are undergoing. And since ExcelR is a PMI REP, they will issue the contact hour certificate, which gives the eligibility for you to take the examination. And you need to possess some experience as well if you have to appear for the examination. The general project management experience of 2000 hours and Agile project management experience of 1500 hours. You should be part of the Agile environment in one way or the other. So when you fill the application form, there you mention the project name and a brief introduction of your project and what is the role, what are the activities you have done. You will be filling in the application form. So there you will take someone's name who can watch your experience. Let us say it could be your manager ideally, or some colleague who you will take their permission and you will take their name, you will give their email and mobile number. And you submit the application form. And once you submit the application form, around 10 to 15% of the applications will be randomly picked for audit, right? If at all your application is picked for audit, you will take the signature from the person whose name you are taken in the application form, right? You take the printout of that experience sheet. In the application form, you can download it as a PDF, that experience sheet, what you have claimed in the application. And you take the physical signature from the manager. And then this documents, your graduation certificate, Xerox copy, the sign what you're taking, right? These things you courier to PMI USA. And on the second category, you being a high school diploma holder also, you can take the examination, but I hope everyone is a bachelor's degree holder here. However, the 21 contact hours is mandatory from an REP or a training institute. And however, they need to possess a little higher experience. 4,000 hours of experience is required in general project management, and Agile project management experience 1,500 hours in the last 2 years is what you have to spend in the Agile environment. So this is about the exam eligibility. Am I clear? And now the examination pattern, multiple choice, mostly scenario based questions. You get very few straightforward questions or a direct question. And the duration is 3 hours. In fact, it's a test for your endurance as well, sitting 3 hours for examination. And you're supposed to take in PMI Prometric centers. In few major towns and cities in India, there are Prometric centers. So you have to book the examination, book the slot over there, and you have to take the examination. And the entire syllabus is divided like this at a broader level. The Agile tools and techniques. So what are the tools we use in Agile? For example, for planning, what type of tools you use, right? For monitoring, what type of tools we use, like release burn down charts, burn up charts, different types of tools you have. And techniques. In the tools and techniques section, you get 50% of the questions. It means 60 questions comes from Agile tools and techniques, and 50% of the questions comes from the Agile knowledge and skills. What type of knowledge and skills one need to possess in order to excel in Agile environment? 50% of the questions. What are those skills required? What is the knowledge required? What are the tools and techniques they are talking about? That we'll be seeing as the training goes on. And the tools and techniques, what we are going to cover at a high level, these are the topics what we are going to discuss. Number one, communications. How do you plan communications in Agile environment? Remember, Agile, in fact, it emphasizes a lot on communications because Agile is more dependent on human interactions and lesser documentation. So communication is vital in any project, be it waterfall model or Agile project management. Communication is vital everywhere. But how the communication differs, what are the various tools, what are the various techniques we use pertaining to communications is what we are going to discuss, and how it is different from traditional project management. In traditional project management, normally what are the ways they suggest to communicate, and in Agile, how differently we do it is what we are going to learn about in the section called communications. And then planning, monitoring, and adapting. Planning. Do you think planning is important for any project? Of course, yes. Be it Agile project management or traditional waterfall model, planning is important. But the way how you plan and the frequency of planning will differ from traditional project management. So how planning is done in Agile at different levels, right? Maybe at a product roadmap level, at a release planning, how you do it, at an iteration planning or sprint planning, how you do it. What are the different types of plans typically we do? And as part of planning, what would we be doing? And what would be the outputs you get out of this plan? These things we are going to discuss as part of planning. Similarly, you all agree that Agile, or if not any project, need to be monitored. So how do you do monitoring in Agile projects? And how do you adapt? In fact, there is no word called controlling. In traditional project management, we say monitoring and controlling, because there the project manager will be controlling the project team members and he will be controlling the end-to-end project. Whereas here, Agile forbids the word controlling and it says adapting. We'll see what this adapting is, right? What we'll do as part of this when we discuss about these topics. And then comes the Agile estimation. As you all agree, in every project, estimations need to be done. What are the various things you estimate? You estimate the schedules, you estimate the cost, you estimate the efforts, right? Same is the case here also. But the way how you estimate differs from traditional project management. Certain tools what you use in order to do the estimation, it differs, right? So here we'll be knowing the estimation techniques like story point estimation, the sprint estimation or iteration estimation, how you do it, right? Cost estimations, budgeting, how do you do it? So related to the Agile estimation, we'll be learning under this section. Agile analysis and design. The other tool or technique what we're going to learn as part of this learning is Agile analysis and design. What is this Agile analysis and design is? How do you build your product roadmap? No, how do you break up your bigger product into smaller chunks, right? So let us say you take one e-commerce site. How do you divide it? Will you divide into releases? And from releases, will you divide into iterations? And for this release, what are the features or story point, user stories, right? You'll be providing. How will you decide what feature should go into the first release? How will you decide what feature should go into the second release, third release? How do you do the iteration planning, the overall product breakdown? Or do you break down into themes, epics? There's another way of breaking down your product. So the bigger product, how do you divide into a granular level? And how do you build your entire product roadmap? Release 1, release 2, release 3, right? That analysis is what we are going to do here, Agile analysis and design. You are designing the entire product, how you are going to release. How many releases are you going to take, right? So this is about Agile analysis and design. Don't worry, when we deep dive, we'll be learning everything. Briefly, I'm explaining what are the topics we are going to cover as part of this training. And then comes the product quality. You all agree that deliverables, whatever you get out of a project, it should be of required quality. The most of the techniques what we use for this quality, they are similar to the traditional project management. In traditional project management also, we use certain quality tools. So more or less we use the same quality tools. But however, the product quality in Agile will be far better than the product quality in traditional project management. Why? What are the reasons behind that? We are going to learn when we discuss about product quality. The frequency of inspection, the frequency of verification, the frequency of validation, it differs from traditional project management, which ensures better quality from the deliverables. Yeah, that's what you're going to learn as part of this product quality. And soft skills, what soft skills you need to possess in agile environment, be it the management team members, what type of soft skills they look for, right? So as I told you, agile is more of human interactions. So the moment there are human interactions, the need for the soft skills will be required. So we'll see what of the different soft skills are required. We'll be discussing as part of this training. And the next most important element, what we are going to discuss as part of the training, is value-based prioritization. Remember, in Agile, we do one activity which is very key, which we don't do in traditional project management, is prioritization of your features. If there are 100 features the customer is asking in an application or a website or a portal, whatever you say, out of this 100, we do a prioritization based on the business value it generates. Let us say you are creating one e-commerce application for Flipkart or Amazon, e-commerce application. The e-commerce application, Flipkart or Amazon, what are the most important features of high priority? Can anyone tell? Which features are key? Is it about us page? Or is it reviews, or is it payment gateway? But what features are most important? So the product catalog, you mean to say that the product catalog where the product information is displayed, this feature is very much required. What else? Payment gateway, I don't think it is of highest priority, because even you can still sell cash on delivery. Yeah. So maybe second or third priority. Search bar is very important. There will be hundreds and thousands of products. If you want to narrow down to the product what you are looking for, it becomes next to impossible for you if you don't have the search option. No, people narrowing to the product it becomes very difficult. Search option, add to cart may be important. If you want to buy more than one item, every time you have to check out, right? Instead you have add to cart. Yeah. So these are the features of importance. Then we have second priority, then you have third priority. There will be many features in the e-commerce site, hardly we use it, but still we have it, right? For example, about us page. About us page is not so important. How many times you visited about us of Amazon or Flipkart? You use these sites left, right, and center on a day in day out basis, but still you never use that, isn't it? So we do prioritization based on the business value the feature will give to the customer. How do you do, on what criteria you consider in order to decide the priority? That becomes a value-based prioritization. So on what basis you prioritize? How did you say product catalog is number one, right? So how do you do this value-based prioritization is what we are going to discuss, and it's very, very important in Agile, not only theoretically, even for the examination also is very important, right? Value-based prioritization. We spend a lot of time on value-based prioritization, and also we do certain exercises as well.